What's going on, my friends? I hope you're well. It's been a moment since I've been on. Been busy trying to get a lot of music done and a lot of other things. And lately, I guess in the last, I don't know, year, if you notice, I'm not in an actual studio. I'm using my dad's office here, so the background looks a little cluttered or something. It's a kind of a room over his garage. I'm sorry about that, but it goes to show you can do music anywhere, and that's really all that matters. Ooh, hot coffee. Sorry about that. But anyway, I wanted to get on. I told you guys, I think maybe in my last video, the last couple, that I was going to review a book that was written by a couple based out of California. I don't really know them, but I'm pretty sure I saw them at the Production Music Conference. I'm not sure if I've talked to them, but I'm going to this year. If they're at the conference, I definitely want to sit down and talk with them. And somebody that I know of that I see at the conference, I saw her last year, referred the book verse, Juliet Lyons. She's an amazing talent. And then Michael Lasclo, Taxi, did an interview with him. And you may have seen this interview. Tracey and Vance Marino wrote a book called Hey, That's My Song. Now, I hope you can read that. It's called Hey, That's My Song. And after their interview and kind of thinking, hey, let me get the book. I bought the book. I paid for it. No one's said, hey, can you promote my book or can you review it or something? No one's asked me to. I read it. Now, I've been in this business about 13 years, and there's a lot in this book I knew. And I will say there's some things I learned and some things I've kind of realized, hey, maybe I was throwing that term around wrongly, maybe. I'll tell you. What I did love about this book is that I wanted, and I still want to go back and read more about their songwriting technique and how they approach different genres of music. But I really like that, and there's a few other things, a few little tidbits that I did like about it. But one thing I will say is that this book it was just is meticulously put together. I mean, in a great way. I mean, it was amazing because they just, and you see how thick this thing is, and what would be somewhat of a small read. They've got a lot of information in this, and this is, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't recommend this highly enough because this book would be considered a user manual. I have never read a book about music licensing, and I've read quite a few of them, and you may have too. I've never read a book about music licensing that had so much information and just as meticulous as this is. And it's laid out beautifully to a point from start to finish. It's from step one to the final step of how you need to go by composing your music, what software to use when you're at conferences and getting out. And if you're an introvert, they talk about they were introverts and how to start talking to people and get out there and just make yourself known. It doesn't matter what you do. And I thought that chapter was amazing, talking about, they were in the corner just nervous and not knowing who to talk to. And after meeting a few people, it just opened up doors for them. These two are extremely well educated in the music department, and their credentials states it clearly. But they just did an amazing job. And the one cool thing they did is they put together, there were pro tips and stuff. Throughout the book, you'll see a lot of these pro tips, and a lot of it, I don't know if you can see that right there, but you probably can't read the difference, but you'll see these little squares, and a lot of it is tips from industry professionals, a lot of music supervisors, talking about things that have added excerpts into this book, publishing companies, different corporations, people from the Production Music Association, from Taxi, from various other people's perspective. And you've got a lot of that in this book. And not only do you have it in each chapter, but in the very back of this book, you've got just a whole section of just pages of additional tips of that nature and a whole appendix of a plethora of information. And I say why I'm going to hold on to this, because I was just going to pass this on and say, hey, listen, I'll pass this on as long as the rest of you guys read the book and go buy it. But I'd say just go buy it, because I'm going to hold on to it for one reason, one of a few reasons. In the very back of this book is an appendix of different lists of just a plethora of list of genres and subgenres that you may not have realized, and how to label your music. Not only that, you have keywords, pages of keywords. Right, let me see if I can find that. Excuse me here, because I'll tell you what else they put in here. All these keywords, even I haven't used, just a whole database of stuff if you're looking for good keywords to meta tag your tracks with, or stuff that you're doing if you upload to a music library, it's all here, and it's unbelievable. You've got lyric themes. They put lyric themes in here. They go in and talking about, touching on music theory a little bit, about stuff of keys to write, when they talked about the composing section a little bit, writing in certain keys and various things, and without giving away the whole book. I just think I think if they wanted to, this book could have been twice as thick as it is now. I really do. They did an amazing job with a lot of this stuff. They went through, I think one of the coolest things I think they went through was, they went through sample contracts and broke down what to look for and what not to go with, or some advice in contracts of different, like work for hire contracts, different types of publishing contracts. They go into a lot of some of the red flags that they do about some of the royalty-free libraries of, do what you want to do, but there's certain business models that are devaluing music, which some would deem it's an absolute race to the bottom. Just be leery of some of these types of deals that you sign. And they go into a lot of that. They go into about reading your royalty statement, signing up for PROs, stuff that if you're not getting this information from YouTube or me, and there's stuff I haven't talked about in this book. Maybe I should, but if you read the book, I probably don't need to talk about it. This is just so well written. And I have to say, Tracey and Vance Marino, job well done. You guys did an amazing job. I look forward to seeing you guys at the Production Music Conference this year, because I do want to meet you. I do want to talk to you, as I do a lot of people. You just did a great job. I don't know how long it took them to put this book together. Putting a book together is not easy. It takes a long time. But the research that they put into this book, and just the details, I thought was very cool. I have yet to read a book about music licensing that has this much detail. Now, this isn't the only book to read. There's a lot. I'm not putting other books down. Please don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good books I've read out there about music licensing and syncing your music to film and TV, which I thought were great books. But as an addition, this right here, this right here is literally a user manual. If I were to describe this book in 2 words, it's a user manual. You could keep it and refer to it. You've got pictures of sample contracts in here. Literally, if I find that page here, publishing contracts, in the back of the appendix with all they have terms of things that you may not understand the meaning of these terms in this industry, and in music terms or various things. I mean, we're talking things like, what's a preamplifier? Like most guitar players or most people would know, but all these terms are things you might not understand. It's almost like a dictionary or an encyclopedia to music licensing, literally. It really is cool. Look at this, sample agreements. If you can see that, they put samples of different types of agreements that you're looking at in the back of this book. And I think that it's amazing. They tell you what you sign, what you don't sign. They break down the differences of whose percentages are what in different types of agreements. Literally, this is a user manual. And I think that you can't go wrong by getting it. If you're new to music licensing or anything and you're looking for something, I would highly recommend this book. I really would. Now, with that said, there are other books I've talked about. If you're getting into books, like songwriting and composing for different genres, I've read a few books. I tell you, Robin Fredericks, her books were published by Michael Lasclo, I know, years ago, but she's done an amazing job of going in and writing songs for film and TV and writing hit songs. She's an amazing instructor of those things. If you're looking for somebody you want to link up with that could teach you how to write lyrics and how to write songs, she's one of the absolute top in the industry. She's amazing, a well-renowned songwriter, and she's written with people all over the world and people all walks of the industry that I cannot even name off the top of my head. I just don't remember it, but she's great. You've got her. One particular book called Demystifying the Genre from Dean Crepane. I read this. It's a little small read. I've talked about this before, but he goes into different genres of music, and he basically does a really cool, simple breakdown of how he wrote the track and how to structure it. And he has audio examples in this, and that's a good book. Steve Darden has a good book about getting into the industry, and there are a few other books, and my apologies if I haven't mentioned them. It's just been a while since I've read these, and I probably haven't packed away somewhere. I don't even know if I have these books anymore. But I just wanted to get on and talk about this book because I think it's an absolute user manual. That's the best way I can describe this, and it is fantastic. And props to you guys for doing such a great job on this book. It is on Amazon. I think I paid like $30 for it or something. I'll see if I can put a link in the description to this. But if it doesn't open up for you through the web app, open up your Amazon app and go look at it. And if you're having trouble with that, just look up Tracey, Tracey, Marino, Marino, or Vance Marino. Hey, that's my book. That's my song book. I'm sorry. You can look up either way the name of it under books in Amazon. You'll find it. For a while there, I think it was under the Amazon bestsellers for that, probably for that genre of book. And I will say that, give me just 1 second. I think that let's see something here. You're going to do that to me, aren't you? I would have already had me signed in. Sorry about that. I'm sitting here trying to sign in to Amazon on my computer here. My orders. I'll tell you what I paid for it here real quick. That book was... We don't want to buy it again. I've already bought it once. That book was less than $30. It was $23.84. Again, it's kind of like Dan Graham's book. There's another book I talked about. I was sitting there, if I hadn't mentioned a book, Dan Graham's book I talked about. Get his book. He talks about the whole 52 Qs, you know. There's these handful of books will really plant you with a good foundation to get started and understanding what you're doing. You know, you've got this. I went back and read, you know, Dan Graham's book because there's some things I actually missed, and I'm glad I read it, you know, and Dan puts a good insight on how many cues to write and what you're doing in this industry. He did a great job on it. But when it comes to a detail of information, this book right here, I'm telling you, they literally knocked it out the park with, you know, and I said a minute ago, if they wanted to, this thing could have been twice as thick with the information. I think there's probably a lot more information they could have put in here. But I think the way they wrote it, they probably didn't want to overdo it. They can get too much. I think this really, I mean, they go into different types of how to use compression, like in production. All these tidbits in a book, man. How to deliver your files, deliverables, mastering. And they break it down in just really easy terms. They don't get too technical because they're not real technical people. I think he might have a lot of that, but they're really good. They've gotten good at this stuff. But what they are good at is teaching music. They did that for years, I think, and very well educated in the background of music, from what I understand. So, but these books, man, guys, I'm telling you, they're good group of books to read. Yet, you know, get on it and do it. But I'll see if I can get a link to this book in the description. And I'm telling you, I highly recommend it if you are new in the music licensing, trying to get your music to TV and film. This is literally a user manual. I'm going to hold on to it because just for the back part of this book and a few other things that I want to refer back to, I really think it was a job well done. And thank you for writing this book because I think it's so cool. Not a lot of it I really didn't know because I did, but it's good to know it's here. Just something to reference to in one book. I think it's very cool. But anyway, I'm going to jump off. I'm running a little long here. I wanted to get on and talk about this book. I told you that I would. I just think it's a great book. Go get it for $23.84. You got to at least invest that much into wanting to getting into to this business. I really, you know, if you put any money in anything, your education part of it is so important. I will tell you another thing. I know right now it would be even more expensive with plane tickets and gas money, but the production music conference I go to every year is so valuable. And when you're ready and you've started, I think, once you've started putting music to publishers and you're out there doing it, then get yourself in a position to go out there and really, get involved in that, once a year. And I will say that with the production music conference, your first year, don't expect to, you may sign a contract, because I've already told you, always have 15 to 20 tracks in a SoundCloud playlist that you've never put anywhere else that are ready to go for a fresh, new, exclusive contract. Just have them. You might, you never know. But if you don't worry about it, because your first conference was like mine. I didn't. It's just getting your feet wet and meeting people. You'll be a little nervous. It's okay. But once you get to feel and start learning how people think and how this whole thing goes, and even with that, sometimes I still haven't figured out, some of these people at the conference, how to crack that case. Some people are hardcore. Oh my gosh, it's a trip. But maybe those people are not a fit for you in this industry. Not everybody's going to be a fit for you, and it's okay. I've talked about that before too. So anyway, I'm off, and thank you guys so much for watching, and go get that book. I'm telling you, I read it, and I'm going to hold on to it as a good reference for the back part of that book. It's amazing. All those keywords, way more than what I had written down, some of the keywords that I've used. It's a good reference. It's all in that book, and I'm keeping it. It is a user manual, my friends. I can't say that enough. It's great. Thank you for watching. Have a great one. We'll see you in the next video. Be cool. Bye.